Emotions. It doesn't matter what kind of media we're talking about. Movies, music, books, anime, or manhwa. In all of them, we seek to feel the deepest and most impactful emotions. They are so pure that they makes us want to stop everything to just enjoy the moment. Whether it is the excitement of watching Hajime no Ippo and wanting to start boxing, or reading Berserk and feeling overwhelmed by the horror of this dark fantasy. But one emotion that hits the hardest is revenge. From planning each step to reaching the highest peak of our hero's retribution, it's no wonder that we have secular works like The Count of Monte Cristo that have been in books, theaters, movies, and even anime. But today, we're not going to talk about Edmond Dantes' Revenge, but are 5 manhwas that are my recommendation if you love reading stories where the plot is the revenge of our main character. Ian never had an easy life. He did discover early on that he had a great affinity for magic. That affinity caused him to grow up fast and ally himself with Prince Ragnar. Both made several cruel decisions which led to the exponential growth of the Empire. Ian, over time, evolved to be the greatest mage of all time, reaching 8th class. That made Ragnar see him no longer as an ally, but as a possible threat to his empire, leading him to murder his best friend. What Ragnar didn't take in consideration was that Ian had the ability to return to the past and have one more chance to get revenge on his best friend. Wait, I think former best friend. This time, Ian wants to right all the wrong he did in his past life and end the threat Ragnar poses to the Empire and nearby kingdoms. Return of the 8th class mage is a work with a very simple introduction, but what stands out is its art, that it's so exquisite. It is also interesting to follow the different decisions that the MC makes and how his perception of the world was skewed because of his alliance with Ragnar. Jan and Hume are twins that were always very close. Even after the mother's incurable disease, they both remained best friends. Until 5 years ago, Hume completely disappeared. Even after years of searching, no clue was found, and finally, the incurable disease takes the boy's mother and makes Jan give up the search. That's when a box with Hume's belongings finally arrives, informing Jan of his passing. When Jan picks an old pocket watch from his brother, a spell triggers Hume's memory to be shared. Hume received an invitation to enter a new world, where he would find the cure for his mother. What he didn't expect is that several other humans received the same invitation. After many years of searching for a cure, Hume made many friends and founded one of the biggest guilds. But that success brought him jealousy among his peers, causing the betrayal of each and every one of those he helped. Even with the cure now in his hand, he wouldn't be able to return to Earth and see his family again. Then, at least he would leave behind his memory. It is at this moment that Jan's adventure and revenge begins. Now, without any family, and with the opportunity to join the same universe that took his brother, Jan decides to end all of those who betrayed his brother and took the peace of his family. Second Life Rancor is a good manhwa which, despite having some confusing plots, knows how to use the emotion of revenge well and trace a story that holds you to know what will happen at each chapter. In a world with superheroes and villains, Cassian hit the jackpot and was born with superpowers, capable of making him a high-ranking hero. But his attitude of using whatever means necessary against the villain, even if it required extreme violence, made him have no allies, even among heroes. Cassian's life starts to spiral out of control when he was contacted by Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
His former mentor and protector when he was still an orphan. Cassian is reunited with Jeff but discovers that he is being pursued by some sort of organization. which sent 2 assassins after Jeff. But at the end of a quick fight, Jeff is murdered, and Cassian discovers that his killers were 2 of the greatest heroes, who accused Jeff of betraying the organization and becoming a villain. Unfortunately for Cassian, he had also become a target. Although he was an elite hero, the fight wasn't fair, and our protagonist fell into the ocean to his death. That's when he reincarnates in a student close to committing suicide. Now, it's Cassian's turn to be in a villain's body and exact his revenge. Villain to Kill is a very fun manhwa, which knows how to distribute interesting powers among its characters. And understand that it isn't as simple as black and white. There is no such thing as a villain and a hero. All of them are a shade of grey with its will of their own. So far, Villain to Kill has 54 chapters and is waiting for the start of its 2nd season. Woo-jin has always been an outcast, isolated from society and trusting no one. He spent every day of his life trying to survive the bullies. But the world changed. Dungeons began to appear, and some people started to have powers capable of protecting the earth from devastation. However, his attitude didn't change. His trust in other people remained zero. But as time went by, he got to know more and more of the players, until he finally became part of the Messiah Guild and found his second family. Those were people who were really motivated to end the dungeons and finally remove this evil from the world. However, when he was in front of the last dungeon, the leader of the Messiah Guild stabs him in the back and reveals that he couldn't let them end the dungeons. In this world, where being a player gives you everything from money, fame and respect, having someone finish the last dungeon would mean the end of all players. But that's when the end game really begins. Woo-jin will have one more chance, and this time he knows exactly who his allies and especially his enemies are. Hugh is one of the best and most renowned lawyers in Korea, being known as an executioner of several thieves. But he has one big flaw, which is not knowing his own limits. While in his quest for justice, ends up being targeted by the President of Korea, which orders the special forces, like a CIA, to assassinate him. However, Hugh cannot die. His soul has been selected to help clear the earth of its corruption, and he was killed too soon to fulfill his destiny. Hugh then returns, but when he was still 15 years old, with all his memory until the moment of his murder. But this time, with a clear goal of revenge, starting with those who harmed his family. This is the Law is a very different manhwa from all of those in this list. Hugh doesn't have a great physical ability, or even a training to fight his opponents. His only tool is his know-how of the judicial system to move the pieces in his favor. Well, this is the top 5. Leave below in the comments if there is any manhwa with a really good revenge plot that I forgot. For more content about anime, manga and manhwa, click on the subscribe button and see ya weeps!